Hey guys, how you going? It's Jamie here. And just want to make sure all my stuff is working, so bear with me a second while I get this stuff going. Are you guys excited? Have you guys had a good week? Do you want some ASMR? I'll read you the little engine that could. I really wish this would just update. Please. 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 I don't trust OBS. It's been messing up for all my friends that use it. So I'm not going to be that guy right now. Oh, whoops. YouTube. Oh my God, it's working. Oh, it sounds good. We have 6 people in this place. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna share this to Facebook. Yeah. Oh, so like yesterday. Hold on. Live now. Come watch some stuff and ask some questions. Yeah. So yesterday I had a live stream planned and everything. Totally didn't work out. Because basically, what happened in a nutshell was UPS had this guitar, not this one in particular. I'm going to show you that one later, but there was a guitar. I got a new guitar, came from California. Super stoked on it. It's on my Instagram. If you're not following my Instagram, I don't know what you're doing, but you're definitely not following it. And anyways, it was signature required, and I was, of course, at work because I'm a very what's the word for that? Responsible boy. I'm a responsible boy. And yeah, so I was at work and UPS was like, hey, we're here at 10 a.m. And I was like, yeah, I've only been at work for like 3 hours. Give me a freaking break. So I had to leave work, which is like down towards Flint, past Flint, right? And then drive all the way up to Saginaw. And it was windy and I drive a truck. So it's just like, and so I stopped at this guitar shop, checked out a BC Rich ST3, a USA made 86, 87-ish with a Kaler bridge on it. And it was just so beat up, but it was really cool. My buddy wanted it pretty bad, but I was like, it doesn't stay in tune very well. We could probably make it work, but it's up to you, man. And so like left there because they kicked me out because it was 6 o'clock. Can't blame the guys. And then went to UPS and picked this up and hung out with a friend and came home. And she's probably going to watch this. The friend I was hanging out with, she's a huge guitar fan freak, which is weird and cool at the same time because that does not happen. It's always old dudes. And so cool. Younger guitar player that's a female. And that was pretty nice. Be able to talk, and we played acoustic guitar at Guitar Center. And I restrung a Floyd Rose guitar at Guitar Center, and they were like, "What?" Because they all the customers that walk in there, they expect you to know nothing, and I just pretty much act like I know nothing when I go in there. And I was like, "Hey, do you have an Allen wrench?" And then they were like, "Yeah," and they didn't know the size. But that's what we're going to be doing today. We're working on this. This was sent over by the good folks over at Kramer. This guitar came from Nashville. I love this guitar a lot. Really cool. There are some configurations in here that will allow you to use all 3 pickups at the same time. You like just do this, and then it's like, or this, I think, one of these things, and all 3 pickups will work at the same time. I'm a big fan of using this split up in this configuration. Kind of like my other SM-1. I have another white one that came with the Seymour Duncan's stock. This is the EMG 89, and we have 2 SAs. And amazing construction guitar. If you've never played an SM-1, you need to get on that. There was one at Winter NAMM. It is red and beautiful. And I actually posted a video. You can see that on my channel. It's just a quick walk up to the Kramers they had on site there. They were showing off the Candy Apple Red, which is, to my knowledge, not really available. And they're going to come out with 2 new colors. We have, actually, I'll show you. I have the technology to show you these things. This is the pamphlet that I stole from the Winter Nap thing in Anaheim, California when I went out there. So they have, these are the new ones. You got the freaking Night Swan that everybody's been asking for a long time. That's a 3-piece neck, 2 Seymour Duncans, and a Floyd Rose FRT 1000. You have a 3-way switch. You have a volume knob. And then you have the wonderful ping pong inlays. I don't know if you guys can see that. They go like whoosh, so you can see where your fingers are. And then, of course, the Jersey Stars. And then some new colors for the 84, which I have one of those. It's beautiful. And then other new stuff, more budget friendly if you're getting into playing guitar. These are going to be a really good price point. I would highly suggest these. These are the Kramer Focus, the VT 211s. Would highly suggest those. Those have Epiphone pickups and maple board. And yeah, you really can't go wrong with, I mean, you got the beak headstock on there and everything. And it's just a very classic layout format. Over here we have the Beretta Special, which is the more budget-friendly Beretta, which has an amazing setup on it. A vintage-style tremolo. Has Alnico V. They're the humbuckers. I'm upside down, by the way, so I'm just trying to go through this and blow through some of these specs quick for you. The Assault has been reworked. It has the reverse headstock on it, which looks super 80s, and you can, like Little Bo Peep, you can totally like just hook somebody with your staff, your sheep staff, which is now your headstock on your Assault. And that's cool because, you know, maple board, everybody thought it was the Night Swan, but it really wasn't. Joke's on you. And then these are the new colors for the SM-1, which it's totally not focusing. There we go. And we have, it's a candy blue, or you have a orange crush. And then, of course, you have the hot pink. I don't know if, is that what they call it? The ruby red or pewter gray for those. Oh, and then this one also comes in maximum steel. So yeah, just a quick overview for you guys. I thought it was really neat, so I grabbed a few of these. I'm going to probably give one to my buddy. And then, yeah, this is just the, they were liquidating some of this stuff. You can get this right now if you go to samash.com. It's marked down from just under $1,000. Right now, I think it's around $700 to $800 for, you know, I believe they still have this one in stock, and they might have black ones in stock still, but great guitar. The fit and finish, of course, it's neck through. And it has a nice volute. You can see that. Big fan of these guitars. But what we're going to do today is we're going to install some FU-tone parts. So I've been using FU tone for a long time now. And essentially what I use, or what it is, they're tremolo upgrades. So a lot of these bridges, if you buy a guitar off the wall at Guitar Center, depending on the price point that you pay, you might get an aftermarket tremolo. It might not be an original Floyd Rose, or even like this model. This is the FRT 1000, which is only available to OEMs. So what that means is you can't go to Floyd Rose and order this tremolo specifically. It has a very close spec to the original German Floyd Rose, the only difference being that it's made in a different country. I believe these are made in Korea. Now, in terms of the lifespan that you get out of this, and the return to pitch when you're perfectly set up, phenomenal. There's no issues or complaints from my end. I don't strip saddles on the FRT 1000 like I might on a lower end licensed version of a Floyd Rose. When you torque these screws down, when you're restringing the guitar, you might find that, well, this screw is stronger than the actual metal on this saddle. Well, this one's not the case. It's a great tremolo, and if you can find one of these secondhand that's basically taken off a guitar, like I had to actually purchase this one. This one came from the Stratosphere, and it's brand new because they part out guitars, right? So I bought this one. It's in perfect condition. This is an FRT 1000, and I picked this up for, I think, $80. So, I mean, it's the same exact tremolo that comes on this guitar. Otherwise, you're spending like 250 bucks for a Floyd Rose, the German ones, which are the best ones you can buy. But if you have something like this and you want to add a little bit more, maybe sustain or make the guitar a little bit more responsive, I find that you're going to want to use one of these. So this is a brass block, and it's weighty. The weight difference between this and what comes stock on an FRT 1000 is night and day. Now this is nickel plated. This might be brass or cast, but some of them will come with nickel plated brass, and then some of them will just be something like this, which I will show you. I have a few blocks right here. So here we have a Floyd Rose one. One of these, I believe, has... Nope. Some of them look like this, you know? And you could tell that's like pot metal. This is just trash. And the weight difference even between the stock ones is unreal. And comparing this to this is night and day. So that is the very first thing that I would recommend when you're upgrading your tremolo of any kind is try to find a brass block for it. Adam Reaver from FU Tone carries ones for Ibanez. He carries upgrades for a lot of different kinds of tremolos, but he specializes in Floyd Rose upgrades, hence the FU, Floyd upgrades. And then here we have noiseless springs. So what does this do? On a typical tremolo system, what we have in the back is metal springs. These screws are tight, boy. Throw some comments in the chat, and I'll read them here in a quick second. I don't want to chip up this guitar, per se, but I do want to read some of your comments. So throw some down there. If you have questions, right now is the perfect time to ask while I focus on this. And then I'll continue talking about the point I was going to make here. Very beautiful finish on this guitar. It's super smooth, high gloss. Oh, I'm gonna need a glass of water, or else I might need to talk really quiet, ASMR style. Do you want to play love games? Do you want to see what I packed for lunch today? Okay, so back here. It's worse on older guitars. Like if you have a vintage guitar with really old springs, it's just really freaking loud. And when you're recording music in a studio, that's like the #1 stupid thing. Okay, so the whole thing we're trying to do here is eliminate some of that extra noise from the back cavity of the guitar. That will translate into your pickups. It will come through your amp to an extent. Now you might run a noise gate, might not really come through as much, but I find that, you know, for what I'm doing at very low gates, I'm not using a hard gate or anything, it's just very low so I can get a lot of sustain and just hush down my amp a little bit. Nothing too grippy or tight on my signal. We want to fix that. We want to add more weight here, and the reason I want to do that is so that I can flutter my tremolo better, which is... So right now it's not doing it so much because there's not so much weight back there. And then the last piece that a lot of people forget to do is, you know, these are just, it's nickel plated something. It's kind of pot metal. And it's nothing against Kramer or any other brand. They all use it. If you open up the back of your guitar, if you buy one, like a Jackson or an Ibanez or whatever, it's going to have the same stuff. It all comes from the same place. We're going to upgrade that. There is a solution for it. Let me make sure that the spacing here is correct. Yes, I will be able to use this because you want to make sure these holes will line up with the original existing holes. Some are wider, some are more narrow. That one will work. But I think what's best right now is if we just dive right into this thing. So the first thing we got to do here is unlock the nut clamp, which I'm going to set the guitar back down. I'm going to move this tremolo out of the way. and I'm going to remove the strings from the guitar. And that's super easy. And if you're not sure what I'm doing up here by the headstock right now, then you might not want to be trying to perform any of these modifications on your own. Reason being is because if you're not qualified to restring your Floyd Rose guitar, you might not be qualified to perform what we're about to do. So now we have the 3 pads off of the locking nut, and we are going to simply release the screws down here. Doesn't need to be too much. I don't want the blocks falling out. I'm going to remove the strings just like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get those out of my way. 5, 6. So we have all 6 strings off of the guitar right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually tighten these back down. That way when I flip the guitar over, these blocks don't fall out of the saddle, because tension is the only thing keeping these 6 blocks inside of these saddles. So, all right, that's done. Flip it over. 1, 2, 3. And now our tremolo is out of the guitar. Now's the perfect time to inspect these posts. They feel great. I'm going to actually leave it where it was because I enjoyed the setup a lot. And I think the thing we should do next before we jump into modifying the tremolo itself is I'm going to fire up my soldering iron. I'm going to let that heat up for a little bit. I'm going to get my spool of solder. There's actually tape in the way. Get out of my life. And we're going to unsolder this ground strap here, but let me check this out quick. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Shh. Shh. Okay. Okay, we have Tone Wars in here. That's Jared. Yo, subscribe to Tone Wars if you have not. A lot of really cool stuff over on his channel. Good friend of mine. We have Chris. Hello. I want 9 or so of those new Kramers. Yeah, me too, man. And again, I have 2 guitars to show you guys. I got one in the mail. Well, I had to pick it up. I got one yesterday, and then I got one in the mail today that's really old, and you guys might dig it. And I was really surprised to find out what I found with it. So, yeah, stand by, because this isn't going to take very long. My soldering iron's already up to heat, so. The SM-1 is sweet, no questions yet, just enjoying seeing you upgrade that Kramer. All right, well, Jared, you're welcome too, man. We're going to jump right into this. The soldering tip is super dirty. I have a solder station that's a Weller off to the side. So I'm going to clean off that tip a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to heat up this claw. And when you have a good soldering iron, you can make quick work of things like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is remove this claw. There's a lot of room in this trem cavity, so that's good for us. Man, these are long, man. That's what she said. So guys, tell me about your day. How was your day? Did you go to the store and do the PetSmart and pet new puppies today? So Jared, Tone Wars in the chat, get this. So I was playing a show last weekend. I put it on my Instagram. The guy freaking came to my show. He brought a bunch of friends, which was really cool. One of his buddies actually took a bunch of pictures of my band and me, which was super cool. And this guy throws, like, usually, actually, I need to, we have a tour bus, and I have a bunk, my top bunk, and, like, I'll get like stuff like this thrown up on stage. Like, this is a bra. Like, now I'm gonna get demonetized. Or I'm not even monetized as it is, but if I was, I would be demonetized. But so there's a bra. I gotta hang that up in my bunk. This guy comes and throws like, look at these bad boys. It's full on tighty whities. And in comparison, you can totally see that this is vintage white, and this is just like, I mean, this man bleached these things. But these are some hefty boys. These are Hanes too. What size? Comfort Flex 3XL. Made in Vietnam. So shout out to Jared for being an idiot. I can't even, when I saw him, because when you're playing a show, like when you do what I do and you're playing a show, it's like you don't always see people right away. Like I had a new friend come out from Port Huron, and I didn't even freaking see her until like more than halfway through the show. It was insane. Before we get too far, I'm going to do this. And then you guys can totally tell when I'm focusing. Just go to your home, please. Soldering iron, you better stay hot, or else I'm going to be really mad. Alright, so that should work. I'm shaking worse than Michael J. Fox right now for some reason. Is that too soon? Jared, tell me, is that too soon for a joke? For a joke like that? All right, so that's totally soldered good. And be careful, because you chat. I love Michael J. Fox. He was in freaking Back to the Future. I mean, who doesn't like Back to the Future? Yeah, that claw is like super freaking hot, boy. So, all right, with that done, I mean, that looks pretty good, right? Good little bead of solder on there. And then this side's still good. I'm going to set that off to the side. And we're going to get to work on this hot boy. So there's a correct way to install this block. And it's putting these holes this way so that these can freaking do that. Because if you put this backwards, you're going to be like, oh, you can't install that. You just can't do that. It has to be this way and this way towards the claw. See that? Does that make sense? Yes, it does. All right, so we're going to install this block. Usually it says FU tone, but these are just artist blanks. And let's get to work. Any sort of questions yet? Or are you guys just really enjoying this for some reason? Yeah, this would have been last night, but... And then I got home today and I almost had zero motivation to do this. So, yeah, there's that. I'll tell you guys a little bit about NAMM, my NAMM experience. It was a lot of fun, the end. It was good. It was good to go and just get away from life for a while, because life sucked for a minute. And I'm really glad that I got to just escape from the state and go to California. I live in Michigan. If you're new to the channel, I live in Michigan. And I just really wanted to get away and be businessy and have fun and be stupid. Like the Line 6 guys and I went out and stuff, and that was a good time. Can't complain about that. When installing your tremolo, make sure you have enough space in the back of your route so that these will fit, because that nub is a little bit longer than the stock one. Put them side by side. You can see that the screw's a little bit longer. But in this case, it's a big route, so it's not going to matter. In some cases, when the route's not as large and it's not a top mount, let's say it's a recessed Floyd rose, I will actually grind this down closer to the threads, not all the way to the threads, because when you start screwing this in, it's going to start crushing your threads. So it's safe to grind them down a little bit to where they're more like this. There you go. But, you know, you probably don't even need to do that. I've had to do it once out of a lot of guitars. So the option's there if you have to do it, and nothing bad is going to happen. So don't worry your pretty little face, because every little thing will be all right. And then I'm going to assume that you guys know how to intonate a Floyd Rose bridge. So I'm not going to show you that either. Alright, so I have 3 of these, just spare parts laying around. You can buy those stainless steel screws from Adam Reaver's shop. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. You can also buy those stainless screws from stainless. Sorry, I stroked out there. You can buy the small 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ones from Adam's shop as well. So I'm actually going to take these all the way off. Okay, so let's get these out of my life because I don't need them anymore. And I think I'm actually done with the soldering iron, so we can turn that off. I got a new subscriber. Hey, thanks for subscribing, man. All right, who do we got in here? We have neck through is really cool. Yes, it is. Hell yeah. What's up? Tone Wars Baha. Yeah, it's the underwear. Chris says yuck. Chris says I could have done without that. Oh, what's that? The underwear. So can I send you my EVH for a brass block modification? Terry, I mean, this video is kind of showing you how to do it right now. I mean, it's super easy, or shoot, I mean, I hate to send you over to Guitar Center or something like that, but I mean, even if you sent me your guitar, the risk of it getting damaged in transit is it's significantly higher than what it's worth to drive it to a Guitar Center or to a guitar store near you to have it done in an afternoon. I would highly suggest that, just for peace of mind's sake. And if you're not fully comprehending what you see in this video right now, we're live. You can ask any questions you want. You know, send me a message and I'll walk you through it. It's not too difficult, or I can point you into certain videos that will maybe go into further depth than I will. But I mean, I have the questions right in front of me, and this is the perfect forum to ask away anything you have to ask. And yeah, some people are kind of worried when they get into modifying their guitar, but the brass block is pretty much the easiest thing to do on a Floyd Rose tremolo. And really, just like being a gun owner, it's probably a good choice to know how to take it. I mean, you should be able to take it apart and clean it, right? Same thing with a Floyd Rose. If you bust a saddle or something, or it strips out, you should probably know how to take it apart and maintain it. What actually makes a Floyd Rose work, and what does it take to keep it in tune, keep it level with the body. We're going to show you all of that right now. And there's only a few steps that we're going to skip because they're not necessary for this kind of video right now. Like I'm saying intonation and, you know, maybe setting the height, like the actual height on the tremolo. But I'm going to show you how to get your guitar perfectly in tune. I'm going to set this guitar up for E standard, I believe I want to, or E flat. I really don't care. It's probably going in standard, but how to make this bass plate sit flat so that your guitar goes back in tune. I mean, these knife edges balances on a post, right? So the flatter this is to those posts where it actually meets, it's going to 0 point better when the tension is set correctly. So if that makes sense, I kind of rambled. We have Johnny Bean. Johnny Bean, go subscribe to his channel. Super cool cat. He does a bunch of live streams. I got to meet him at Winter NAMM this year and had some cool conversations. We talked about Nightbot, and I kind of fantasized about his Nightbot, and I'll just show you. So some people like to picture their baby Jesus or their Jesus in a tuxedo t-shirt, right? Have you ever seen Talladega Nights? Well, he has this like moderator. It's an automatic, it's like a preset moderator in his chat. And when people are commenting, it just says, hey, subscribe here, go follow my Instagram, whatever. And I like to picture my Nightbot as Debbie Gibson, because I'm a big fan of Deborah here. And I actually keep this under my pillow. I don't even have the Glock under my pillow anymore. It's just Debbie Gibson. If somebody tries to rob me, I'm throwing Whataburger ketchup at them and a Debbie Gibson cassette tape, because she will keep me safe. And if I ever get shot, I have a backup that goes in my coat pocket, and it's filled with lead. And she's going to take a bullet for me. I know she's going to save my life one day. And that day is probably going to come soon, because I'm always in Detroit. So, all right, what do we got here? I had that tape. Everybody should have that tape. Everybody in history. Keep these. All right, we're going to jump back into this, though. Keep these like the way they came off, because these are the lowest. These are the second highest, and these are the highest. It like curves, right? And it's labeled on the bottom, but just take them off and don't be a freaking idiot. Just keep them all in the same spot, so that way when you go to put them back on, you can just simply do it. It's not very hard to do that, because if you mix these up, you're gonna be like, why is my guitar buzzing out? That's because you're a freaking idiot. Okay, so we have 3 Allen screws. They're the same size as these little Bo Peeps right here that lock your string in. The same size as your string whatever locks at your nut. We get super technical on this channel. Like, I'll show you some serious shit, but I probably don't have the words or the time to manufacture a proper sentence. I just don't. I worked all day, man. I'm just over it. I'm just going to show you how to do stuff today. So this stupid thing's off. Goodbye. You're the weakest link. And you can see 32 millimeter, but it's super freaking fat. And the weight difference is very significant here. This is a tone sucker. Actually, this is something that you can sharpen down and throw away. Actually, don't sharpen it first, because somebody in the waste management business might get hurt someday if they're sifting through your trash. Or a raccoon is probably more likely. So we want to do this. Okay. And that holds these guys. So make sure it goes like that. It doesn't go like this. I mean, that's pretty much impossible, but you know how it came off. Do that. I'm going to take one of these screws. I'm going to put it through there so it kind of stays. And what we're going to do is I'm going to spin this around a few times so it starts threading in to the block. I'm going to take a few more. I'll start screwing them down. We're just still working with those 3 screws here on the base plate. And that's why we had to take the saddles off. So that we could get to them. Alright. Try to get this a little bit closer for you. Alright. We're looking good. And just snug them up. That's good. Okay, before you go any further, here's your tremolo. Strings go this way, right? Towards your headstock. Flip it over and make sure these holes are closest to where the strings would be going. Because this needs to hook on here. Got it? Because if you put your guitar back together and these are on the other side, then you're going to have a really bad time. Got it? Good. Okay, yeah, best thing to do is... Oh, yeah, let me go back in the comments quick. Been there, done that ass backwards before. See? Learn from Wilson here. Wilson's Custom Guitars. Live and learn, Wilson. Wilson is a great band, by the way. I freaking love Wilson. And I love Nelson. And Hanson. You guys remember Hanson? Like the MMMBop song? Sean Zimmerman. Oh, good to see you on the chat, man. Yeah, best thing is to learn and do it yourself. Things are not complicated, and they charge out the butt for stupid quick installs. They do, man. And that's exactly why I got a soldering station and learn how to solder, because it's ridiculous, man. I mean, you send your guitar off to, let's say, Guitar Center when I was younger. 26 now. When I started doing pickup swaps, I might have been 16, 17. I got like a used DiMarzio on eBay or something, and I wanted to put it in my guitar. And so I took it over to Guitar Center, and it was like 3 days before I even got a call back. And they're like, yeah, we've been backlogged, so it's going to take another 2 days. And then I got it back, and I was like, it was the wait time was so long that I didn't even really tell a difference. And then I looked at the back, and the soldering job was so bad. So get some 6040 rosin core solder, get a Weller soldering station, and I mean that's pretty much $110. And then think about it this way: what do they charge for a pickup install? $30 to $60 on average nowadays. I mean, you're going to be saving a lot of time and money. Like I can throw up a guitar on the bench and have it done, do a good job, have it done in 30 minutes. And that's pushing it, because I've done pickup swaps and it's taken like 5 minutes. It's stupid. But it depends on how hardcore your circuit is too. Like if you have a 5-way, a super switch, if you're dealing with a 3-way toggle and a push-pull, there's a lot of different factors there, and you need to look up schematics and stuff. But subscribe here, add me on Facebook, whatever. I'm more than happy to help anybody with anything like that. So, what do we got here? George Wilson says, that's Wilson's Custom Guitars. We'll watch the rest later. See you, Jamie. George, have a good one, man. Robbie Timms, what's up, man? Honestly, learning how to get a Floyd set up properly was a game changer. I still hate floating Floyds, but at least I can set it up myself now. And the more you do it, the better you'll get too. And people call me crazy, but all of my guitars have a floating Floyd Rose on them. I don't have a single one that has a backstop or decked or anything. And it's just how I play. It's expressive, and I love fluttering and the whole Red Beach thing. Huge fan of all that stuff, man. And we're gonna get these started in here. As the Black Eyed Peas once said. Or is that Outcast? It's one of the two. All right, on a 25.5-inch scale, guitar, which is what that SM-1 is, do this. Down, down, up, up. We'll probably get you close if you're going to intonate. I'm not too worried about intonation right now. So with that being said, I'm going to put all those in there. I'm going to put these in here. And what this will do, because these can go wonky right now, this will straighten them out. So when I tighten down these screws, everything is nice and nice. See, that's not what you want to do. And now I need to figure this out. So these are all mixed up. They're all mixed up right now. Now I got to find out. So three, three. Okay, so these are the highest. 2, and then 1 is your lowest. And I'm looking, there are small dots on here. So 1 is the lowest. Some will actually be numbered. And some will have little dots. This is all coming back apart anyways, so I'm not really too worried about this. That was really clumsy of me, though. Did you guys see that? I'm such an idiot. But I was trying to do this. Make this process a little bit smoother, huh? Instead of struggling like an idiot. This is probably the longest I've ever taken on this. I haven't worked on guitars in a long time. This was filled with cups and like trash because I just haven't had like the motivation to do anything. Ever since I came back from NAMM, I've just been playing guitar, which is the opposite of what I was doing before I left for NAMM because of depression, crippling depression. But now all is well. I'm playing shows again, and I'm super happy. Like, not like fake happy. I'm like really happy. Like if you call me names, probably won't get very sad. Or if you make fun of my face right now because I have a huge pimple on it, you know, I'll just go home and cry. It's fine. It's all fine. If you get into soldering, get solder wick. You can see there. That's actually solder. If you screw up, you heat up, you put the tip on that wick, and then you touch it to the solder that's globbed onto whatever component that you screwed up on. And there you go. Bob's your uncle. I want the saddle to stay forward. Okay, so there's your Floyd Rose. You have these tightened down. Looks good. Looks really good. See if we have any comments. Before we go further and put this into the guitar, we have George is back. What's up, man? When are you making a trip down to PA to FU Tone? I've always wanted to visit Adam's shop. That's for sure. I actually sent him a package today. So we were talking on the phone. Actually, when I was hanging out with Johnny Bean here, when I met up with him, I was with Rob Welch from Tessie Switch. He sells these things, like, and I was talking to Adam, and I was like, yo, I know you have kill switches, but you should really try out these arcade ones. He's like, I saw them, it's just, I've never used one before. And I was like, well, they're like super awesome. Like, I feel like I'm playing Galaga or something, and they look cool, all sorts of different colors, blah, blah, blah. But, like, I have a yellow one here. I have a purple one. He also carries knobs. And here's a sticker of this Homer Simpson. I found that like a long time ago. And then we have switches like this with no LED. And then we have a bunch of extra parts, which he sent me because he's really nice. This is an LED kill switch, so that lights up. You hit it with a 9-volt battery or a low-profile cell battery, and you can light it up. This one's cool because it's a rocker switch. Every time you press it, it kills your signal. So you can get that Tom Morello kind of thing. Only it automatically snaps back. So I have a few of those. I can show you guys how to install this stuff one time too, and you decide whether you'd want it or not. Cool. Really easy to install, but yeah, I sent a few I bought a few switches and sent them over to Adam today because he did comp these blocks for me. I've been ordering from him for a very long time and have sent a lot of business his way. And on the premise that I make this video and show people kind of, you know, what goes into it. And that looks super freaking sexy, have to say. If I say so myself, it's a very sexy tremolo right there. Get out of my life, springs. So Jamie, how do we do this? How do we go back from where we're at? Well, I do this. Throw this backwards. Zoop. Are you going to go to your home? Yes. So travel on this is now a little bit more limited. I'm wondering if I should freak you guys out. It's hitting the wood right there. Yeah, we're going to totally freak you guys out. So the, oh no. A little block fell out. So the thing with that is I like to press my tremolo arm all the way down to the body. No mercy. And the way to remedy that is with a freaking Dremel. You guys want to see that? So I'll show you. I'll actually mute the microphone and show you. But I need to mark out first and foremost. Yeah, because it's very tight. And then it should pull, it's going to pull backwards all the way. So that's zero issue. All right, those are our marks. For this job, I'm going to use two tools here. I'm going to use this. It's a grinding cone. And I'm also going to use a barrel sander. As I find it, looks like this. Very gritty. That's going to help us get the job done. Luckily, it's the same chuck size, so I don't need to change that out. All right. Aljon, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I'm going to mute this. See you guys on the other side. All right. So that's really close. Since I'm a guy that's all about checking work before moving forward, I think that's going to be the next step. And let's see what your comments say here. No comments. You guys can hear me though, right? All right, so we have a little bit more to go. All right, that should be more than enough. And it smells of rich mahogany in here right now, and it's glorious. If you're going to blow dust out of your cavity, close your eyes. That's what we got. Nice and straight. So we have on the top. You can see it's very straight up to the foam. And that's just kind of an eyeball job. If you want to be even more precise, I recommend that you use tape. Mask it off. Like in my instance, you just saw me, obviously, I used Sharpie to give me a guideline there. All right, now upon installing this again, all the way down to the body. And that is because we routed out enough room for the block to go. It's kind of a play on the Wizard of Oz there. All right. Yeah, wear a respirator too. That'll help. So I like to tuck over to the side. And we're going to put one spring here. And another spring. We need to back this out a little bit. So a wee bit. Back it out just a wee bit. And then tighten the springs down just a the claw just a little bit. Cool beans. Very quiet now. Looking good. Looking nice. It's exactly what we want. Exactly what we wanted in our lives. Some really good tension there too. So, now that that's done, you could restring it and set it up. But I was thinking about this, guys. What are we doing on time? Probably pretty freaking long. Let's see. Terry Williams, definitely not comfortable doing what you just did. I've done it a lot on a lot of guitars, and you know, it's kind of the price you pay for you know, making your guitar a little bit better. Taking away a little bit of wood isn't going to do a lot. You know, it's not going to destroy your guitar or anything. Now, if you suck with the Dremel, then yeah, I mean, you're going to destroy everything. You don't want to do that. So take it to a qualified person to have that done. But in a nutshell, does everybody kind of comprehend what I just did and why? I mean, the first hurdle, let's recap. The first thing was getting the tremolo off the guitar, which required us to remove the strings, right? So we removed the strings, we took the back plate off the guitar, we took the springs off, and from that point we were able to actually take the tremolo out of the guitar. From there, it was just the claw. We removed these two screws, which allowed us to remove the claw. We unsoldered this wire, which is your ground strap, to your control cavity. It's what makes your guitar noise free as far as pickup operation goes. And a lot of the times we'll complete your circuit. Unsoldered that. We put the new claw in, and before we screwed this down, we slipped this wire up through the hole and soldered it. We got a good, it was 840 degree Fahrenheit solder iron thing, and it flowed right onto this. I mean, if I can tug on this and it's not going to go anywhere. From there, we did take the bridge apart, which I'll show you this other bridge here, which required removal of these 6 screws here. And what these screws do is holds the strings in place. These little blocks clamp down on the strings and hold them in place. So when you loosen these up, these blocks come back, it releases the string, and you can pull them out. We took these screws all the way out, removed them from the tremolo assembly, and then we removed all 6 of these smaller screws, and then we were able to remove all the saddles to get to the 3 screws on the base plate. This is a different style, but these 3 screws, these ones are, this is actually a more inexpensive bridge, but same concept, right? Remove these 6, pull the saddles off, and then you can access these 3 screws here, which holds the block onto the base plate itself. We did remove the spring here that adds tension, and then we also removed this metal piece because it literally does nothing for your tremolo. It just sucks tone. So just pull that out of there. You put the brass block on, make sure that the holes are this way towards the studs, away from the whale tail, and then from there reinstall those 3 screws. Make sure the spring is reinstalled, and then you can just repeat the steps backwards. Set your intonation screws on a 25.5-inch scale. You might need to actually put all these forward, but a lot of the times I found that I'm able to do down, down, up, up, as we have down here, and you can get your intonation very close, if not dead on, for a 24 fret guitar. I mean, that's dead on, it's kind of pushing it, but you can get it really close. Do that. The only other thing I really wanted to show you guys was the thing that kind of popped up on us, which was dremeling the guitar, which you need a Dremel for. I told you what I used and why. I didn't even need to use this. I was going to use that to clean it up a little bit, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because, you know, it's a little bit more difficult to use. The only thing you have left to do is string it up, and if you already know how to set the tension here with the claw on the back, then you're good. Just tune it up to pitch, breaking your strings, and if you didn't mess with the post height, you're good in the hood. You just string it up, tune it up to pitch, and you're done. So, any questions before we move on? Thank you, Chris. I love it, Jamie. You did a great job. No, thanks for sticking with me, man. We're actually going to get to the fun part right now. So if any of you guys dipped out, I'm really excited to show you some of the new axes I got. We're going to go through one more thing with this tremolo. Actually, no, we're not. I'm going to show you this on the new axe. We're going to do it to this new axe. And I'm very, very excited to show you this. Let me just clean off my area a little bit, move some stuff around, and we'll get right into that. So I'm going to show you the one that I got today, which is a very inexpensive guitar. This is a guitar that they didn't make a lot of in this color. I think it was, I don't even know the year. I'm so bad, but it's a Music Yo era. And you know how much I love my purple striker. Like, you guys always see me playing that. Well, check this out. This is a Kramer FR 424, and it is a striker, and it's beat up. This thing is rode hard, put away wet. What's really weird about this guitar is it almost has a Stage Master kind of cut here. And Stage Master being that SM-1, it's pretty much a Stage Master. But if you can see on the horns there, yeah, the light right there, you can see the carved top comes up and it dips back up. So like it swoops down and then up. I've never had one of these that's like this. It has the quad rails in there, the Kramer bridge, whatever. Another guitar we have right here. This is also a 424 CM. Actually, it's a different one. I forgot what it is. But you can see the cuts are different. Even on the back. Like, it's so weird. Are these the same freaking thickness, boy? No, the green one is significantly thinner. Let me show you that. Just a little bit thinner. Look at the horn. So weird. What I'm going to do, though, is probably do a neck swap. I'm going to take the neck off this guitar and put maple on it. What do you guys think? If I were to put the maple, it's the same exact thing, right? Put the maple on there with the green. Or should I keep the rosewood? You decide. The future, the fate is in your hands. But yeah, as a, you know, pick swirl, has some little cracks right here that you can probably definitely see right here in this and on this side as well. You can definitely feel it. I'm gonna have to fill that with some clear or something, or clear nail polish. 5-way switch, typical Kramer branded Floyd. And the back plate on here is a little bit different. Typically it would have a lot of screws around here, like on that red one, but this one just has the 3. Just really kind of excited for this because it's really hard to find this guitar in this color. And even though it's definitely different than my purple one, like my purple one has no neck plate on it. This plate is recessed into the body, like for like right here, let's say. So it like is flush, whereas this one sits on top. It's all kind of weird stuff. We'll open up the back. Yeah, these were overseas too, guys. So I mean the quality control is was like non-existent on these ones, and in terms of what I work with now, the new Kramers, it's like night and day. Like these, like, I mean, you can just tell. You look at this, it's like, oh, they just kind of used cheap parts and put it together, huh? Well, yeah, that's what they did. Back at that time, that's why you could buy 2 of these for like freaking $100 back in the day. It was just stupid. But this was kind of a play on the Kramer 620. It was a guitar that they released in the late 80s, and it was supposed to rival the Ibanez Sabre. The Ibanez Sabre was like the Joe Satriani kind of one for a while. It's what you know now as the Ibanez S series, with the jack that kind of goes like this on the top. And yeah, I mean, there were great playing guitars. I mean, I have a few that are set up really nice, and I enjoy them thoroughly, but there's just some different stuff here when I go back and forth between my purple one and this. I mean, the body shape, the thickness isn't the same or anything. The neck profile isn't the same. So, I mean, for me, this is kind of more of a novelty guitar. It was super cheap. So it's one of those things where I just couldn't pass it up. I just want to fix it up a little bit, make it playable, and have some fun with it. Like, this will be a guitar that if a friend comes over, I'll just throw them this, and you know, they can shred away, and I won't care. They can throw it off the top of my house, and I won't care. But that's one guitar. The second one is super impressive, and you're gonna love it. What year? I want to say this is a 03, 04. 2004. I went on the Wayback Machine on Google, and it's an internet archive. And what it shows you is websites. They have captures month to month per year. And if you've never checked out the Wayback Machine, it's almost like a window into the past. It's like literally taking a time machine into the past on the internet, because the way that websites were actually designed back in the day, if you recall, was so bad. Like, they had all like this clip art and, you know, the Microsoft Word like 3D text and the spinning globe and stuff. It was really bad design. It was funny because my band Rockstar actually went on the Wayback Machine, and I looked at my old band. I was like, who the hell are those guys? Like, it was a completely different band. You know, it was just funny to me. But yeah, they had a website and they had pictures and where they were playing, and it's like, oh my god, like it went from that to this. But yeah, check out comments quick. Chris says, I love you, brother. All right, I'm going to show you this last guitar. I was going to do some mods to it tonight, but I'm not going to do that. Maybe one. Actually, no, I'm not going to do any. I'm just going to show you this guitar. We'll save some of that stuff for the next video. This has gone on for a while. Oh my god, you guys are going to love this. All the way from California. Came with a case. The route for the D-Tuna. I put the Strat knobs on there. It did have domes. Neck through. This is a Kramer Beretta. This is, I want to say 2000. Man, is this 04? I feel like this was earlier than that. I'll need to get back with you on that. The Musicchio stuff is like kind of flighty because it wasn't really clear what was made when or in what factory. But this guitar is simply freaking incredible. I bought this bridge. I planned on putting this bridge in this guitar. You know, the FRT 1000. And the only thing I'm going to change on this is putting in a push-in arm, because this is just, it feels like, if you've ever played like an Ernie Ball Music Man, or if you've ever played a Floyd Rose with a push-in collar, it's so smooth. Like, this is just super clunky. I don't know if you can hear that, but this bridge is freaking outstanding. I don't know, like, it must be just broken in super well, because if I tighten this, I can dump it, and it just keeps going back in tune. It's stupid. But this is the FR 404 SN. That's the model of this Kramer. And this does actually have an arm cut, which for this era of these guitars, I'll show you two examples. This is same era. This is a Beretta Infinity Sustainer. Has no arm cut on it. No arm cut, the contour. So it's just flat on top. So there's one. And here's the newest one. I actually just got back from the shop. No arm contour on there as well. So this one I had the Floyd Rose studs installed. So this one's super cool. Kind of my Andy Timmons kind of thing. It's like a nod to Andy. The purple, black. And if you hold on a second, I'll show you one more guitar. It's upstairs. So this is a guitar I've been taking to shows. This is a Kramer Beretta 2 Pro. This one is also neck through. It says "Say Perhaps to Drugs" on it. And you can see it's like all like reflective and stuff. It's like chrome. And this one was, I believe, made in Korea. Has Godot tuners on it, stock. If you could see that. Probably not. And this one also did come with an original Floyd Rose on it and Seymour Duncan pickups. So a lot of really neat goodies on this guitar. I probably want to add a 5-way to this one eventually, but just a weird freaking era. Like this one and that Crackle are like, oh, they're like sisters. It's like Rosa Parks and Anne Frank or something. I don't know. Does that make sense? Not really. But yeah, what do you guys think of the Crackle? Should I bring it out for shows or what? I'm thinking so. You know, it's kind of worn a little bit. Has some buckle rash. But I dig it. And if you guys want to see more of these guitars, I'm looking at a room full of guitars right now. So if you have any questions about any of my Kramers that you've seen on my Instagram or whatever, ask me a question. If I don't have the answer for you, I'll look it up or ask a good friend of mine. Shout out to Aljon Go at Gibson Guitars for being very awesome to me, and he's my Kramer rep. He is very kind and accommodating and makes me feel really special. I'll shout this out quick too. So I had a lot of choices. I work with about 7 companies now. And I feel bad because I don't have the Tessie Switch logo on the bottom of my screen here, but I'm gonna have to update that now that I'm getting back into YouTube. But you know, just to walk around with this badge, you know, was an experience, because everybody in the industry knows Gibson. I mean, it's just the biggest name in guitars in history. And not only do they know the brand, but they know the people behind the brand. They know the faces behind it, and they've shook hands. They might have worked for each other at one point in time, and it really shows the character of there's nothing fake going on. It's all genuine kindness, and it comes from a place of love and wanting to see the brand succeed and the people that play the guitar succeed. And it's a very good relationship. And I just want to go on the record and say that I'm very thankful to be a part of it. And just if Aljon, if you're watching, or any of the Gibson team or whatever, thank you for allowing me to sit in your booth for a while and play the guitars and talk to people and watch the performances, because that was hands down the best booth at NAMM. The best booth. They had the best stage, the best sound. They had a very inviting environment, and they actually let you play the guitars. That's one thing. And I'm not going to mention any other brands, but there were some booths that you walk in and it's like, well, we sold all the guitars that are on the wall, so they're actually getting shipped off to this dealer, or this customer bought it, and it's stuff that goes on before the doors even open for the show that week. It's stuff that happens before any consumers, which it's a show that's more geared towards the sales side, and it's not really like a Guitar Center. It's something that you go in and investors go to, and it's a marketing thing. It's not really for Joe Schmo to walk in and buy a guitar, but there are some booths that will allow you to order that guitar and they'll ship it to you, or you can meet them up and take it home with you. And this other brand didn't give them the opportunity to even do so. And I just thought that was kind of stupid. Like, let us play the guitars. At least talk about the guitar. It's like, if I'm going to spend $6,000 on a custom shop guitar, I want to play it. I want to feel I want to see what it can do before I just sit there and make a $6,000 investment. But to each their own. That's why I'm going back to it. I'm really glad that Gibson will let you play everything. The Kramers, the Epiphones, the Steinbergers. They showed you. They had different tables set up, and they showed you how they carve the binding out. They showed you how they engrave the top on a Les Paul to create the flower petals and the vines and all that stuff. They showed you how to wind a pickup, and they would go into very deep detail on all of this stuff, and they really made people feel welcomed, and it was a very inviting environment. And Gibson, you did it right this year. You came back swinging. I always got your back, and I'm really excited for you guys to see what 2020 has in store. Even this summer NAMM. So if that's a thing, I know that it sounds like Winter NAMM next year is probably going to happen. But fingers crossed. I guess we'll see when we come to that bridge. Under new management and stuff like that, and the guy is really cool. A ton of interviews with him out there right now. He goes by, I think, JC, and yeah, just check it out. I know Toman just did one that was really, really in depth. I think it was like 40 minutes, and the guy can almost win anybody over. So like if you want to hear about the changes they made. People have said that there were quality control issues and stuff like that. It's been addressed, man. It's been addressed. The elephant in the room is like, it was like this big, and now it's like non-existent, because they were like, yeah, we know it was wrong. So we did this, and this. It's already done. We've already done these things. It's not a customer facing, change. Like, it's not a change you'll see, because you're not at the factory, but it is something during the manufacturing process that, and the end result of each guitar is going to be significantly better. And if you were reluctant to pick up a Gibson or an Epiphone or a Kramer up until now, I would highly suggest that you wait a few months and wait till the new stuff comes in the store and put your hands on it for yourself. And if you have any feedback, come to me. Send me an email. I'll vet it. I'll probably sit on it for a little while so I can gather my own thoughts and feelings on it, because I'm not just going to run and cry wolf about, different nitpicky stuff that, different players might have, because a problem to one person might not be an issue to the next person. So, I mean, there's some stuff to consider before just filing complaints. But I'm very confident the guitars that I played at NAMM, were all super high quality. The Kramers, even the setups were really good. The stability, like the neck pockets and everything like that, like there were no gaps or anything. They took some serious care into how those instruments were presented. I'm gonna get off my pedestal now, but I just wanted to tell you guys about that because I get questions and it's kind of long overdue for me to actually talk about it. Like, just wanted to kind of clear the air a little bit because I have had some comments I've had to delete and stuff like that. And I don't like to be that guy that just goes on a deleting spree about comments and stuff. But give it a chance. Okay, I love you guys. And until next time, let me know in the comments what you want to see. Send me an email, add me on Facebook, and we'll talk freaking gear, man. That's what I'm here for. And before I cut this off, I'm going to check the comments here. Yeah. All right. We have some good comments here. Yeah, overseas. All these are overseas. And this one is probably the best construction out of all of them. This is the Beretta 2 Pro. Sean Zimmerman, sweet. I'm here. That's a beautiful guitar. Rosa and Crackle. Thanks for sharing the Kramers. I love them all. Aljon rocks. Chris says, yeah, Aljon does rock. He's an inspiration to me. He's a friend, and I'm really glad to know the guy. He took me under his wing. I owe him big time. Sean says, I want to see all our childhood brands do very well. Every guitar company do as well as what gives us more to choose from. And that's the thing is when new technology comes out, and like look at the Head Rush and the Line 6 Helix and any of the other competition, like the Moore just released the let me see. It's I got a brochure from, it's a 2018 one, but they came out with a preamp live, which is like a capturing thing. I don't want to call it what I want to call it, but they came out with the GE300, and it has signal metering. It has a 30-minute stereo looper. It's a freaking insane multi-effects. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, I went out and had a good time with the guys from Line 6 and the guys that run the Line 6 forum. Every single night, we had such a good time. My entire outlook on the people behind the company and everything, like I've always had a good impression about them because of their customer service and their responsiveness and their attention to detail and customer care. It's the after sales stuff that counts for Line 6. And there's a lot to be learned from a company like Line 6. And when you might be customer facing when it comes to responding to emails, or you might have a good phone line where maybe a small call center where 10-20 customers can call in at the same time and talk to real people on the phone and get real solutions. But Line 6, those guys are trolling all the forums all the time. Like, they're just passionate and they're gear lovers, and they want to know what their consumers want, and they try to implement it, and they'll tell you when they're wrong, and they'll tell you when they're onto something big. And they just feed off of the customer responsiveness, and that's what makes Line 6 so great, and that's why I use their products. They're easy to use and stuff as well. They sound good, but I wouldn't have even given them a chance if like one of my first Helixes I got broke. Like the little arrow thing, the cursor thing broke. It was out of warranty by that time, and I wouldn't have stuck with them after. Like, I don't want to spend $1,500 again. I'm gonna go on to something else, or I'm just gonna use a few pedals I have here in its place, because I just pretty much use delay and a boost and reverb and stuff, so I can probably get away with it. But I put a post on the forum. I was like, my thing broke. What options do I have? And they're like, file a ticket, send me a message, and we're going to send you a packing slip and you can ship it back to us and we'll fix it for you for free and we're going to send it back to you for free. That's what kind of company Line 6 is. And you can't always expect that because some customers like me tamper with things. I mean, not everybody does though. And the worst thing is when you have a product that you spent so much money on and you're using it at gigs and you need to be able to rely on it. For Line 6, it's almost it's not damage control, but it's customer retention. It's building customer retention because if you have reservations like, yeah, it's going to be kind of outdated or out of warranty in a few years, like what do I do afterwards or what do I do if it breaks down? Well, they're going to if your Helix breaks and you gig all the time, if you make money off of what you do and if you rely on it and they recognize that, if you explain that, all you need to do is tell them, hey, is there any way I can get a loaner? And they will probably send you a loaner unit. Like they offered me a loaner and I was like, no, I have a Helix floor and I have the stomp. And they're like, cool, well, we're set there then. I mean, we're going to overnight you one. And I have friends that they've overnighted Helixes for. So there's anything to be learned in the industry. It's definitely from Line 6. Gibson stepped it up a huge deal. Like that's all they're focused on right now is customer feedback and, making quality instruments that people have been asking for. So what more could you want there? Now, if we talk about other companies and stuff like that, I mean, they're innovating. They have an acoustic simulator. This thing will model pickups, like an impulse response. You can capture the type of pickups you use, and it's like an EQ thing. It can capture your cabinet. You can make your own impulse responses. You can capture your amps. And actually, the technology in this for capturing amps is even better than their old preamp live. So, I mean, I went over there with a Line 6 forum guy and he was like, check this out, man. We did. I played a Strat, whatever they had at the booth, and I was blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, So, it's all about transparency on my channel. I'm going to tell you when something, at least for me, can be improved. If there's feedback I have, I don't always go public with it, but if you have feedback that you want to make known, and before you go on Facebook or something like that and just start blasting companies, because that's not good either. That looks really bad for you. The best way to provide feedback, or if you have a potential change you'd like to see implemented at some point, is to come up with some possible solutions for your problem. And then that's the best way to go about approaching a company about possible changes. And yeah, there's a lot to be learned for that. That's how you build steady, solid relationships, is being respectful, because these guys have been around for a long time. Not just Gibson, but every company out there that, unless they're, just starting up and stuff, and that's hard enough. They're a small company. I like to support small businesses like Adam Reaver. That's why I buy his stuff. I'll tell you that all day long. But yeah, one last check. Sean, I hope that answers your, that was kind of long-winded, but I hope that talks about my feelings about the whole situation, man. I'm kind of right there with you. I want to see all these different brands thrive and keep pushing each other to put out better products. It only promotes a better future for better products for guitar players, for sure. And with that, guys, I'm going to sign off here. Thank you for taking the time to watch this stream. I know it's super long, but shoot, I needed this. I needed to put out a long video on this channel and let you guys just freaking indulge in information and hear me talk for a little bit. I wanted to talk. And yeah, we're going to do some playing here pretty soon. So thanks for following me a little bit, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Cheers.